Level 1. The Boy. You were born in a country that does not work. The roads are dirt. The power comes when it feels like coming. Your father grows maize on land he does not own. Your mother sells what is left of it at the market. There are 6 children in the house. You are the 4th of them. You sleep 3 to a bed with your brothers. You wake before the sun to fetch the water. The well is a mile away through the dust. You carry the bucket on your head the way they taught you. Your mother coughs through the night, and there is no medicine. Your youngest sister died before she turned 2. Nobody called it anything. People just die here. The world keeps turning. There were hungry years when you were small. You ate bark and grass and boiled leather to fill your stomach. You watched a neighbor swell up and then stop moving. Your father grew quiet during those years and never came back from it. You learned that hunger is a kind of weapon. You learned that the people who control the food control everything. School is a concrete room with no glass in the windows. A tired teacher writes letters on a cracked board. You learn to read very quickly. You learn most things quickly. But being clever buys you nothing in a place like this. Your village has no future to hand you. The only men with money wear uniforms. They drive through town in jeeps that throw up dust. They take what they want. They pay for nothing. The soldiers frighten the grown men around you. They do not frighten you at all. They fascinate you instead. You want to understand them. You watch them the way other boys watch football. You see how people step aside when they pass. You see how fear moves through a crowd like wind. You file it away somewhere deep inside. When you are 9, soldiers come for a man down the road. He had said a thing he should not have said out loud. They drag him from his house by his hair. His wife screams into the dirt. The soldiers laugh as they load him into the truck. Nobody helps him. Nobody can. You stand at the edge of the crowd. You understand something. In this country, there are only 2 kinds of people. There are the people that things happen to, and there are the people who make things happen. You decide right then which one you are going to be. You are 9 years old. You have already chosen the rest of your life. Level 2. The Recruit. At 17, you walk to the recruiting station in the capital. It takes 3 days, partly on foot and partly in a truck. You lie about your age. Nobody bothers to check. The army takes anyone with 2 arms and 2 working legs. They hand you a uniform that smells of other men. They hand you boots a full size too big. They hand you a rifle older than your father. You are sent to a training camp in the dry South. The drills break your body apart and build it back. You run until you vomit in the dirt. You crawl under wire while instructors scream into your face. A boy in your unit collapses and does not stand again. They beat another one half to death for falling asleep on watch. Some of the boys cry quietly at night. You never do. You stopped crying as a boy. You learned long ago that tears change nothing at all. You are stronger than the farm boys around you. You are sharper than the boys who came from the city. You learn the weapons faster than any of them. You learn something far more useful, too. You learn how the army actually works beneath the rules. Rank is not really about skill. Rank is about who you know and who you please. The officers eat meat while the soldiers eat thin porridge. The officers sleep in beds while the soldiers sleep on stone. You watch the officers very carefully. You study the way they walk. You study the way they speak. You notice which ones are feared and which are only obeyed. There is a real difference between those 2 things. The feared ones never have to raise their voices. You decide that you will become one of those men. You volunteer for everything that nobody else wants. You take the worst duties without a single complaint. You make yourself useful to a sergeant who likes you. You learn his weaknesses. You feed them quietly. He drinks too much. He gambles too much. You bring him cheap liquor. You cover his small mistakes. Soon, he cannot run his unit without you. This is the third skill of power that you learn here. You make people need you, and then you own them. A boy in your bunk talks about deserting one night. You report him before dawn the next morning. He is gone by the afternoon. Nobody asks why. You feel nothing about it, only the cold math of survival. The other recruits learn to be careful around you. He puts in a word for you with his captain. You are recommended for officer training. Most recruits serve their years and go home empty. You are not going home. You have already seen home. There is nothing waiting for you there. Level 3. The Officer. Officer School sits in the heart of the capital. The classrooms are real, with desks and real books. The food is better than anything from the camp. You wear a pressed uniform now. Men salute you in the corridors. You are 20 years old, and soldiers twice your age call you sir. You are given a platoon to command. 40 men whose lives sit in your hands. You learn how to lead from the very front. You learn that men follow strength and punish softness. You are hard on your soldiers, but you are fair. They respect you for it. That respect is a weapon too. You make sure they are fed when other officers steal their rations. This buys you a loyalty that money never could. You file that lesson away with all the others. Loyalty is the only true currency in this country. You are sent to the border where the rebels operate. You see real combat for the first time there. The first man you kill is a boy younger than you. You feel nothing for a long stretch afterward. Then it all arrives at once, late at night, alone. You learn to lock that feeling in a room inside your chest. You burn a village once because the orders say to burn it. You do not let yourself look too long at the faces. Some of those faces find you anyway in the small hours. You let them in for a moment, and then you close the door. You command a sweep through rebel country for 3 months. You learn to read a village the way you once read a classroom. You know which man is lying by the way he holds his hands. You know which mother is hiding a son in the roof. The rebels begin to fear the young officer who never misses. Your soldiers begin to believe you cannot be killed. You become very good at this kind of war. You are decorated for it more than once. Your name begins to reach the desks of generals. They notice the young officer who wins and never complains. You marry around this time. She is the daughter of a merchant in the capital. The marriage is half love and half cold strategy. Her family carries connections that you do not have. Her father knows ministers and generals and bankers. He opens doors that your medals alone never could. You are kind to her, and in time you come to love her. But you never forget what the marriage is also for. She gives you a son inside the first year. You hold him in the hospital. You make a promise. He will never fetch water from a well. He will never sleep 3 to a bed. Whatever the cost, your blood will never be poor again. You return to the front. You climb. Captain, and then major. Each new rank brings more men and more power. Each one brings more eyes watching from above. Some of those eyes are friendly. Most of them are not. You teach yourself to tell which is which. Level 4. The Colonel. By 35, you wear the eagles of a colonel. You command a full brigade now. Thousands of men answer when you give an order. You are stationed near the capital, where it matters most. Power lives in the capital. Everything beyond it is only territory to be held. You have a second child now, a daughter. Your wife runs a household full of servants. You live in a house with a generator and a high wall. You have come a very long way from that village, but you are nowhere near satisfied. You have seen exactly what sits above you. The generals live like kings in this country. They own businesses. They own land. They own ministers outright. They take a cut of everything that crosses the borders. The president sits above them all, old and fat. He is surrounded by men who quietly hate him. You attend the right functions now. You wear your medals. You shake the right hands. You smile warmly at men you secretly despise. You learn the second great skill of power. The first skill is force. The second skill is patience. You study the factions inside the army. There are men loyal to the president himself. There are men who resent him in silence. There are men who only wait to see how the wind blows. You speak to all of them. You commit yourself to none of them. You become known as a man who can be trusted completely. That is the most valuable reputation a dangerous man can build. You turn your brigade into the finest in the army. You make sure your soldiers love you and not the president. You promote men who owe you everything they have. You find the angry ones. You give them a reason to follow you. You remember the 4 things that move every man: money, belief, fear, and pride. You learn which one moves each officer under you. One man you buy with cash and a better posting. One man you bind with a secret he cannot take back. One man you flatter until he would die for your good opinion. A colonel from a rival faction grows suspicious of you. You smile. You host him for dinner. You wait. Within a year, he is reassigned to a quiet border post. He never understands that you arranged his exile yourself. When the day comes, you want an army inside the army, a force that answers to your name and no other. You are building it quietly, one loyal officer at a time. Nobody above you notices what you are doing yet. Level 5. The Conspirator. The country is coming apart at the seams. The currency is worthless paper now. The shops stand empty for weeks. People riot in the streets. The president sends soldiers. The soldiers shoot them down in the open. The killing only makes everything much worse. The generals begin to whisper among themselves. You are 40 now. You are one of those whispers. A senior general approaches you at a funeral. He speaks slowly, testing every single word. He talks about the good of the nation. He talks about the failures of the old man in the palace. You understand exactly what he is really asking. He is asking whether you will join a coup. You do not answer him right away. You go home. You sit with it through the night. This is the most dangerous moment of your entire life. If the coup fails, you will hang from a rope. Your wife will become a widow overnight. Your son will grow up as the child of a traitor. But if it succeeds, you will be inside the new order. You will be one of the men standing at the very top. You weigh it the way you weigh everything else. Cold, slow, careful. You always have been. You decide the president is finished no matter what happens. Better to hold the knife than to stand in front of it. You join them. You bring your whole brigade with you. That is the real reason they need you at all. The plotters have ambition. But you have soldiers with guns. Without armed men, a coup is only talk in a room. You become the military muscle of the conspiracy. You plan in secret for months on end. Which units to seize first before dawn. Which roads to block before anyone wakes. Which officers to arrest and which ones to simply kill. You barely sleep through any of it. Every knock at the door could be the secret police. A young captain in the plot is arrested for something unrelated. You hold your breath for a week, waiting to see if he talks. He does not. Your wife notices that you no longer sleep. She does not ask what is wrong. She has learned not to ask such questions. She only holds your hand and says nothing in the dark. You think of your son asleep down the hall. You think of the rope. You think of the courtyard. You think of the empty grave. Then you push it all back into the locked room. You meet the plotters in safe houses that change every week. You speak in code at funerals and weddings and bars. You leave messages and dead drops behind loose bricks. You memorize escape routes through 3 different cities. You trust no one completely, not even your fellow plotters. You have already begun planning what happens to them afterward. Level 6. The Junta Member. The coup comes on a Tuesday before the sun rises. Your soldiers seize the radio station first. They seize the airport and then the palace. The president is dragged from his bed in his nightclothes. He is shot in a courtyard before the morning is fully light. By noon, you stand on a balcony beside the other plotters. You announce a new dawn for the nation into the cameras. You are now a member of the ruling council. They call it the Junta. 7 men who run a country by simple decree. You give yourself a new title and a chest of medals. You earned none of them in battle. The people cheer at first in the streets. They always cheer when a hated ruler finally falls. They do not yet understand that you are worse. You take command of the army and the security forces. This is the most important portfolio of them all. You fought hard inside the room for it. Whoever holds the guns truly holds the council. The other 6 men control oil, finance, foreign affairs, and the rest. You let them keep their little kingdoms for now. You are a patient man above all else. You can wait for years. You know the hangs himself in his cell, the official report says. Nobody who matters believes that report. Nobody who matters says so out loud either. You did not order every single thing yourself, but you arranged most of it very carefully. The council shrinks month by month. Your shadow grows longer across the country. Level 7. The Strongman. Within 3 years, only 2 men still matter. There is you and the general who first found you. He is the one who spoke to you at that funeral. He believes he is your master still. He thinks you are the loyal soldier he once chose. He is badly mistaken about you. You have spent years turning his own officers against him. You have quietly bought the loyalty of his bodyguards. You have isolated him without him ever feeling the walls. You move on a quiet, ordinary night. His guards do not lift a finger to save him. He is arrested inside his own home. He is charged with crimes that are mostly even true. There is a trial that is not really a trial at all. The verdict was written before it began. He is executed in the early morning light. You attend the execution in person. You want him to see your face as it happens. He understands everything in that final moment. Then it is done. You are now the sole ruler of the country. You are 46 years old. The boy who carried water now holds millions of lives. You take the title of president, though there was no election. You move your family into the palace where the old man was shot. Your son is a teenager now and walks the marble halls like a prince. Your daughter is raised by private tutors and bodyguards. Your wife wears jewelry worth more than your village earns in a lifetime. You kept the promise you made in that hospital room. Your blood will never be poor again. But the work is far from finished. A strongman who has just taken power is at his most fragile. Everyone is watching to see if you can truly hold it. The army is quietly testing your grip. The factions are already circling around you. You must show them all what you are made of. You purge the officer corps without any mercy. You arrest any man who might dream of replacing you. There is a night they later call the Long Night. Dozens of officers vanish before the sun comes up. Some are shot. Some simply disappear into the camps. Their families learn nothing. They learn never to ask. You promote young, hungry men into the empty seats. They owe their entire lives to you alone. They will guard you because their fortunes are tied to yours. You do to them exactly what you did to others. You learned that lesson better than anyone alive. Level 8. The President. You rule now, fully and without any question. You build the machine that will keep you in power forever. There are elections every few years. You win each one without fail. You take 99% of the vote every single time. The newspapers print only the words that you give them. The judges hand down only the rulings you want. The parliament claps when you enter and claps when you leave. You build a cult around yourself, slowly and carefully. Your portrait goes up in every office and every school. It hangs in every shop and every home. Children learn songs about your greatness in their classes. Your birthday becomes a national holiday with parades. You give speeches that run for hours on every channel. The whole country pretends to listen with shining eyes. The money flows endlessly to you and your family. You own the oil under the ground. You own the ports along the coast. You own the banks that hold what little the people have. Your son runs half the economy now. He skims from all of it without shame. Your wife controls the charities, which only move money in the dark. You are one of the richest men in the entire world. Your country is one of the very poorest on earth. You do not see the contradiction in this. Or you see it perfectly. You simply do not care. To a man like you, the two facts are one fact. You keep the people poor entirely on purpose. A hungry population is a frightened population. A frightened population never finds the strength to rebel. You build a secret police that reaches into every village. Neighbors inform on neighbors for a little extra food. Children are taught to report their own parents. A single joke about you can send a whole family to a camp. A poet writes something clever about the palace one spring. By summer, he has vanished. His books are burned. His name is removed from every record that holds it. People learn to forget him, and then they truly forget. Foreign reporters come. You smile for their cameras. You speak of democracy and reform and the will of the people. They write that you are a complicated man, not a simple tyrant. You let them believe it because it costs you nothing. The cult grows thicker every year that passes. You start to enjoy the worship more than you should. Some part of you believes it now. You rule by fear because fear is all you have ever trusted. You learned it at 9, watching soldiers drag a man away. It still works exactly as well as it did back then. Level 9. The Supreme Leader. You are 65 years old now. You have ruled this country for almost 20 years. You are no longer truly a man to your people. You are a force of nature to them. You are a face painted on every wall. You are a name spoken only in lowered voices. The cult around you is complete in every detail. The official story says you were born during a great storm. The elders supposedly called that storm a sign from heaven. The story says you saved the nation with your own hands. You know that none of it is even slightly true. You wrote most of those legends yourself. You have outlived every man who knew you as nobody. The general from the funeral is long dead and forgotten. The old sergeant who recommended you is dust in the ground. The other plotters are all gone before you. You are the last one who still remembers the village. You remember the well, the bucket, the barefoot boy. Your wife has grown old at your side. You still love her in your own frozen way. Power took something warm out of you long ago. You barely remember the warmth. Your son is a grown man now and impatient. He wants everything that you currently have. He is already gathering his own loyal officers around him. He is doing it exactly the way you once did. You see it clearly because you invented the whole game. This is the loneliness that nobody ever warned you about. You cannot trust your own blood any longer. The dynasty you fought for is the thing most likely to kill you. You purge generals on the smallest suspicion now. A general you trusted for 30 years says one wrong thing. He is gone within a day. You do not let yourself mourn him. You sit across from your son at dinner. You watch his eyes. You wonder if tonight is the night he finally moves. He wonders the very same thing about you. Neither of you says a word about it. This is what your dynasty has become at the top. A father and a son measuring each other for a grave. You move your sleeping quarters to a new room each night. You keep tasters who eat your food before you touch it. You trust no one. You trust nothing. You have everything that a man could ever want. You are terrified through every waking hour of the day. The throne is real. The crown is real. The peace you imagined would come with them was always a lie. Level 10. The Ghost. You are an old man now. Your body is finally beginning to fail you. The country is restless in a way you have not felt in decades. The oil money is drying up at last. The young people no longer remember why they should fear you. They carry phones in their pockets now. They see the wide world that lies outside the borders. The wall you built around their minds has cracks running through it. You can feel the incoming. You can almost smell it in the air. You smelled it on other men, just before you pulled the trigger. One morning the news arrives at your door. Soldiers in the capital have refused a direct order. So it begins. The end always begins quietly. The thing you spent a lifetime preventing has finally arrived. Your generals stop answering their phones. Your guards have grown very quiet around you. The men who swore to die for you now calculate their survival. You understand them completely. You are the one who taught them how. You sit alone in your palace. You think of the village. You think of the well and the bucket and the boy. That boy decided to become a man things do not happen to. He was wrong about that. Things happen to every man in the end. There is no rank high enough to climb above death and time. Your son does not come for you in these final hours. He is too busy choosing which side will win. Your wife sits beside you and holds your hand. She is the only soul still left at your side. She held that same hand on the night you joined the plot. She has held it through 40 years of blood and silence. She does not say that she forgives you. She does not say that she does not. She simply stays, and that is the closest thing to grace you will ever get. The crowds are pouring into the streets now. They tear your statues down with ropes and hammers. They are saying your name aloud without any fear. It is the first time in their lives they have dared. So now you face a single choice, a bullet of your own, or the mercy of the people you starved. There is no exile plane waiting on the runway. There is no quiet retirement beside the sea. You ruled by fear, and fear has finally turned to face you. Somewhere in a village in the mountains, a boy fetches water before the dawn. He watches a convoy of frightened soldiers roll past him. He sees the grown men step aside into the dust. He files it away somewhere deep, the way you once did so long ago. He is poor and he is angry, and he is paying very close attention. He does not know your name. He never will. But he has just learned the very same lesson that you once learned. The cycle continues.